Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland takes place this weekend in the main event of UFC Fight Night Orlando. Thompson versus Holland, and I can't wait for this welterweight matchup. It's a massive fight in the welterweight division. Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland. This is what main events should be, okay? Two amazing fighters that are usually very entertaining and will be entertaining against each other, because I know Stephen Thompson sometimes can make a bit of a snooze fest if he is being out-grappled in certain moments, or if the other fighter isn't really willing to engage with him on the feet. But Kevin Holland is going to bring it to Stephen Thompson, no doubt about it, and make this a fun fight. And I reckon this is going to be a great matchup in the main event. Very big fight for both of their careers. For Stephen Thompson, if he wins this one, he's right back in the mix, looking at top 10 opponents, looking to get right back in there. And then maybe if he wins that next one after this one, maybe then he'll start looking for a top contender matchup to potentially get a title shot in the welterweight division. Who knows? And for Kevin Holland, if he wins this one, I mean, first of all, Kevin Holland has been done a solid favor by the UFC here. This is probably one of the best matchups for him in the entire welterweight division. And he's coming off of a dominant loss to Khamzat Chimaev only a couple of months ago. Kevin Holland has been given such a nice treatment by the UFC here. He just got dominated. I know he did the UFC a favor by taking that matchup against Chimaev in the first place, but either way, he just got dominated. You know what I mean? Think about this. He was supposed to fight Daniel Rodriguez at UFC, whatever it was, 279, I believe. D-Rod won his fight against Li Jingliang, even though he arguably should have lost. And Holland lost his fight. D-Rod has no matchups basically being made for him and is right at number 15. Holland is unranked and he's getting the number 6 welterweight in the world, Stephen Thompson, in the main event of a fight night. Good for Kevin Holland. I reckon he wins this matchup as well. I really do. I like Wonderboy, man. And if he loses, his career's probably done. In all honesty, I can really see this being a big crowded event, a massive arena cheering for Wonderboy on his loss, I believe. He's going to have a good moment on the microphone. I can see him getting finished here and not really wanting to continue if it is going to be against like some of the dangerous up-and-comers in the welterweight division right now that are all going to be grapplers, let's be real. A lot of grapplers are going to be calling out Wonderboy if he loses this one, and the UFC are not going to be doing him any favors in terms of matchups. They're going to want to get rid of him as well, so I think this is the end of Wonderboy. I really do. I think this is the end of the road for Stephen Thompson. He's 39 years of age, and I'm going to tell you why. Kevin Holland is taller than Wonderboy. He's so much rangier than Wonderboy as well, at 81 inches of reach to 75 inches of reach on Stephen Thompson. That's a good advantage to have for Kevin Holland, especially with his goofy style of throwing dangerous punches that come out of nowhere. He's got a really good straight right hand, and one thing I will say, Wonderboy, his best ability to deal with shots are people who throw hooks at him. That's his best. That's when he looks his best defensively on the feet. If you go out there and you throw hooks against him, like Vicente Luque or Jeff Neal, he does quite well against those types of punches. But with Kevin Holland using straight punches down the pipe, those types of shots can work on Wonderboy, okay? They can. They really can. And I feel like he might catch Wonderboy at the end of one of those straight punches and then start to mix in some hooks if he does have Wonderboy beaten up a little bit to the body or the legs. I can even see him taking down Wonderboy at some point in this fight. I know he had him on his podcast earlier this week and they were talking about how they're going to have a great striking matchup. But when Charlie Ontiveros landed some Wonderboy stuff on Kevin Holland in their matchup a while ago at middleweight, Kevin Holland said, forget this, I'm taking him down. And I do not see Kevin Holland losing a fight to Stephen Thompson and just going, I'll stay on the feet for 5 straight rounds. Because again, as soon as he got hit with some stuff that he didn't see coming by Charlie Ontiveros and his weird karate style, he immediately shot in for the hips, dragged him to the ground and slammed him and broke his neck with the slam. Like, Kevin Holland is not afraid to go to the ground if he needs to. And with all of the wrestling training he's been doing, because he's, that's a hole in his game that he's had to try and fix over the years. He even took down Derek Brunson in their fight as well. So I feel like there is an option for him to win this fight if he does take it to the ground. And I think if you have options in MMA, I take it back to this quite a lot. If you have options on how you're going to win, whether it be on the feet or on the ground, you'll likely just win. And Stephen Thompson is just a striker. And not only is he just a striker, he's a striker with a very low chance of KOing people. And I feel like in today's day and age of MMA, if you're going to be a pure striker, you got to have heat in your hands. We got Jack Della Maddalena coming up in the welterweight division right now, and that's why I think he'll do quite well. If you're facing a wrestler, you got to make the most out of your very few moments that you have on the feet. I'm not saying Holland is this wrestler that Wonderboy's got to take on, but I'm saying that Wonderboy definitely has a finishing potential advantage on the feet over Wonderboy. He has the option to take it to the ground. He does not have to worry about Wonderboy shooting on him. That's something he constantly has to worry about with other opponents. Even Tim Means kept trying to take him down. Alex Oliveira tried to take him down as well in their fight. He doesn't have to worry about that here, and that's often when we see the best performances out of Kevin Holland. Wonderboy just don't have the options to win. He doesn't have the different things for Holland to worry about, and in the back of Wonderboy's mind, he has to worry about being taken down at some point. It's going to limit his striking, and I think it's going to leave open opportunities for Kevin Holland on the feet to land one of those goofy shots. He doesn't do things traditionally, and if you see where Wonderboy has done well against other opponents on the feet and schooled them in fights, it's Jeff Neal. Very simple, very basic striking technique, which is good, but against Wonderboy, he sees that all day long, and he could figure out a way around it. Vicente Luque, very traditional, simple striking technique that he goes for, very basic stuff, and he did give Wonderboy some trouble early on, but Wonderboy sees that stuff coming all day long. Masvidal, very traditional striking technique, does throw some goofy stuff here and there, but still very straightforward what he does. You can kind of make reads on him, and that's where Wonderboy has success. And then you also look at Rory McDonald, same situation, very traditional on the feet, very simple striking style. Wonderboy eats that up all day long. Anthony Pettis, little bit goofy, from a taekwondo background, done a bit of karate, mixes things up a little bit differently, fights at a different pace, mixes some crazy stuff in there. He's able to KO Wonderboy. I actually made a video on my second channel, the MMA Guru Clips. I posted it a couple of hours ago, breaking down how Anthony Pettis exposed a lot of holes in the game of Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy is very open to leg kicks and body kicks, which is not something that we've seen from Kevin Holland, which is a bit of a problem. Let's be real. He's going to want to mix them up a little bit, and I'm sure he will mix up leg kicks. When Wonderboy stands in the way that he does in front of you, your mind automatically is going to go to, I should try out a leg kick or two. So I do think he'll throw some leg kicks. I just don't think Wonderboy can make him pay. That's the problem that I'm having here. I don't see him lighting up Holland on the feet and KOing him. Holland has a very good chin, and I just don't see it being cracked by Wonderboy. And even if it does, I don't see Wonderboy finishing him on the ground. If Holland gets dropped at some point, I can see him just tangling up Wonderboy as Wonderboy goes in for a TKO finish. And he's also so goofy on the feet, and I think that's going to take away some of the kicks that Wonderboy does. You know, like maybe the side kick to the body might work pretty well for him in this matchup, but I don't think he'll be landing leg kicks on Kevin Holland. I don't think he'll be able to land head kicks either, because Holland, his hands go up so high, and he also outstretches his hands quite a bit, and he's so rangy, fights at the end of his range very well, and yeah, I don't see kicks landing. I see them getting caught up in the arms of Kevin Holland. I just think Wonderboy's got to like tag him on the feet with boxing, and he can, and he probably will be doing that for the majority of this fight. But at some point, he'll get caught. I know he will. And if he gets caught, Holland can do what Wonderboy can't. Holland can latch up a dash choke and immediately finish it out of nowhere. He can do that type of stuff. He can immediately slide round to the back and cinch up a rear naked choke. He does this stuff to finish fights. Very high finishing IQ. I think he gets it done. I think they're going to be striking with each other. Holland's going to take him down at one point, maybe catch a kick of Wonderboy and use it to take him down and beat him up on the ground a little bit, and then the round's going to end. And Wonderboy is going to be winning on the feet, but been taken down in rounds 1 or 2. And then as the fight goes on into round 3 and 4, we're going to see both guys fighting a little bit differently. Holland fighting a little bit more aggressively, being a little bit more confident. Wonderboy being a bit more hesitant. He's just been taken down. He doesn't want it to happen again. He's not letting things go as much as he needs to. And I can also see, and this is a big part of it as well that I think I'll end on, I can see Holland getting in his head a little bit. Not in the way where he's going to make Wonderboy fight emotional and like really aggressively. I don't think that's... I'm not saying in his head in that way, which is the usual way that people say in his head. I'm saying that I think Holland is going to really lower the edge on Wonderboy. Wonderboy needs to be switched on in this fight at all times because Holland can catch him with some goofy stuff. I think Holland will be doing a lot of talking. You know what I mean? Good shot, man. And then giving him a little high five to Wonderboy. And Wonderboy, even if he doesn't like engage in that stuff, niceness, he's not going to be the guy to say, stop putting your hand out to touch gloves. You know, he's not going to be that guy that shakes off Holland's goofiness. He's going to be the type of guy, as my mustache keeps curling into my mouth, he's going to be the type of guy that entertains Holland's goofiness in the fight. And I think that's a big factor here. Plus, he's 39, and Holland's a young guy, so that is also a big factor. But I think that's something not a lot of people are talking about here. Holland's going to be doing all of the, good job, man, great combo. Giving him a high five. Wonderboy gives a high five, goes, hey, yeah. And then sort of goes back to his little bouncing around. I can see him getting caught up in like the tomfoolery of a Kevin Holland matchup. You know what I mean? The hoi polloi of situations that's going on. And then he'll start lowering his guard a little bit, getting a bit more fun himself, trying to go for different combos. And then Holland just on the way out of a Wonderboy combo throws a left hook. Dink, catches him at the very end of his reach. Wonderboy goes down, comes back to, shoots in on a single leg. Holland latches up the guillotine or a dash choke. I can see that so clearly. I can't see Wonderboy finishing Holland. He might win a decision. And that could be a factor. But I can definitely see Holland at some point taking him down. I can see that limiting the stand-up ability of Wonderboy on the feet because he's going to be worried about that. And I can so see Wonderboy not backing out of an exchange enough at one point. And Holland's got different power in his hands sometimes, especially at welterweight. And he catches people when they don't expect it either. And he throws stuff weird. So I can see him even landing a free punch combo on Holland. Some of it blocked and some of it not. And then Holland just like throwing a left hook as Wonderboy goes back out. And as he leans back, just gets clipped and switches off for a second. I can see it. Round 3 finish for Holland. Drops Wonderboy. Wonderboy winning the majority of the fight going into the third. Holland drops him in round 3 and then dash chokes him and finishes him. Wonderboy retires. Holland fights someone else. I don't know who he's going to fight, but he'll get a good matchup. He beat Jeff Neal, so he'll get a favourable matchup because he has that win over another top contender there at welterweight. We'll see how it goes. Maybe he'll get a Jeff Neal rematch. Who knows? Jeff Neal might beat Shavkat. You never know. And then Holland can get that rematch. Maybe he'll even fight Jeff Neal if Jeff Neal loses. Who knows? Goodbye. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Holland round 3 finish.